At Maxar, our companies are committed to building a better world together by offering global technology solutions to address the biggest barriers that prevent people from making the world a better place. We don't shy away from big challenges. In fact, we have a history of stepping up to lead. Our satellites, Earth imagery, robotics, geospatial data, and analytics have the power to drive positive change in the world. It's our tremendous honor to work with many organizations around the world to do just that.
So we're working on things like climate change and global health and humanitarian crisis response and resource conservation, you name it. It's a really diverse set of use cases that we support.
I get to tell all the cool stories and how we use our imagery to build a better world.
We look at the world from way up high, and we're having a vantage point that probably only astronauts can compare to. We often get to see some really cool things. It could be, just spectacular beaches all around the world. So we often see some pretty tragic things that are happening too. And that's part of our mission as well, is to bring out this transparency and to help, again, tell the story. We work very closely with the BBC, and the BBC had just started up a new group called the Africa Eye. There was video that just surfaced this year that showed 2 women and 2 young children that were being carried away at gunpoint by a group of soldiers. They forced them to the ground and they killed them. The BBC came to us to help go back and actually look at the area where they thought this killing might have occurred. And ultimately the intent was to try and bring this to justice and to find out who were doing this within the Cameroonian government and the military. We were able to take our imagery, work with their groups that had that other information from Africa, fuse the two together, pinpointed the location where this occurred, and we're able to figure out the exact date and time that it occurred. That ultimately has led to 7 of the soldiers being arrested, they're in prison, and they're being investigated for the crime.
So the Open Data Program, the premise is this idea of Digital Globe and our sister companies and Radiant Solutions and MDA really activating and being more proactive around helping in the midst of a crisis.
I led a team from across the company who worked on determining what our response would be to hurricanes. We got together and determined what kind of data we would provide through our Open Data Program before a hurricane hit, while a hurricane was going on, and after a hurricane hit landfall. We provide the data to first responders and global development organizations who are actually on the ground after hurricanes and other natural disasters, helping people. And they use our data to determine who needs a response, where the hardest hit areas are, and how can they get supplies to that area and the manpower to that area to help the people who are most in need.
NASA is extremely interested in what robotic in-orbit assembly can do in order to formulate what the future telescopes will look like and how we'll assemble them in space. The further back we look at the universe, we can actually see things evolving in time. It's not just space. We can look at things at the beginning of the universe and how galaxies look, and then look at things later in the universe. And it's not just a physical distance between, but it is the time light takes to reach the telescope, which tells us how the galaxies evolve, how planets are formed. So there's a lot of benefits of building things in space, and that's what Dragonfly is about.
Billions of people are reliant on fish as their key protein in their diet every single day. This demand is being fulfilled by aquaculture farmers or fish farmers. And so aquaculture farmers need to be able to monitor threats to their farms that emerge every single day. And so one threat they're really concerned about is the emergence of red tide, which are these quickly emerging, growing, toxic algae blooms that threaten fish farms globally. We've developed an algorithm that we can apply to that oceanographic data to identify the emergence of red tide. We're able to send an alert to aquaculture farmers globally so that they can do what they need to do to protect their fish farms, mitigate this risk, and really protect this important global food supply.
We also partner with a group called USA for UNHCR, which is the UN's High Commission for Refugees. And so what we did with that group was actually take 116 different refugee camps from across the world and mapped every single tent and the type of tent that were found in those camps. And the whole premise of the project was really understanding the quality of life in those camps and to be able to do it in a scalable, repeatable way so that agencies like the United Nations actually have those data to make informed decisions around how they better support refugees, better support host communities, given the growth and knowing that so many of these camps have been around for years and years, much longer than initially intended.
I'm proud that I can be part of a program here at Maxar that provides geospatial data to first responders that allows them to do their job better and faster to help the people who are impacted by hurricanes.
Every morning, I wake up motivated to understand how I can help people.
It's not just about technology, what we do. It's about working in partnership with these groups to actually address, with cutting-edge technology, some of the most pressing global challenges across the world.
We're committed to our customers, to our mission partners, and those around the world who are working very hard to solve some of the toughest challenges across the planet. We're doing that with technology, we're doing that with passion, and we're doing that in a way that allows them to achieve the success, and we're doing that to build a better world.